Bonjour, we will now start with lesson 6. In this chapter, we will learn the conjugation of the verb aller. It is another irregular verb and you have to memorize the conjugation, and we will learn about different colors in French. We will also learn about a few seasons in French. First, I will start with translating the comprehension and then we will learn the verb aller, to go. Le ciel bleu, le parc vert. The blue sky, the green park. Il fait jour, it is day. Il fait beau, it is beautiful. Le ciel est bleu, the sky is blue. Dans le ciel, il y a un peu de nuages blancs, mais le soleil brille. In the sky, there are a few white clouds, but the sun shines. Je vais au parc, I go to the park. Dans le parc, il y a des arbres et des herbes. In the park, there are some trees and some shrubs. Dans les arbres, il y a des fleurs roses et rouges et des feuilles vertes. In the trees, there are some pink and red flowers and some green leaves. Des papillons orange et jaune volent. Some orange and yellow butterflies fly. Des oiseaux violettes chantent. Some purple birds sing. Le soleil se couche. The sun sets. Il fait nuit. It is night. Le parc est sombre. The park is quiet. Le silence est partout. The silence is everywhere. Tous les jours et en toutes les saisons, je vais au parc. All the days and in all the seasons, I go to the park. J'aime le parc. I like the park. Now I'll give you one or two verbs which have been conjugated here. I will give you the meaning, but the conjugation of these verbs we will learn it in lesson 8. So the first verb was voler, which means to fly. Chanter, which means to sing. And briller, which means to shine. These are regular ER ending verbs. How we conjugate these, we will learn it in lesson 8. Another important verb that we are going to learn today is aller, which means to go in English. It is an irregular verb and you have to memorize the conjugation. So this is the third verb that we are learning today. We've already done être, we've done avoir, and now today we will learn aller. Aller, to go. So the conjugation is je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. So this translates into I go, you go, he goes, she goes, we go, you go, they go, they go. I'll repeat the pronunciation also once again. Je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. Now please be very careful. In être this is SONT, in avoir this is ONT, and in aller it is VONT. So the conjugation is very close. Please do not confuse yourselves and memorize it well. With être it is SONT, avoir is ONT, and aller is VONT. The meaning changes completely. It is essential that you memorize the conjugation of être, avoir and aller perfectly. Let us do some examples on the verb aller. So for example, let's say, je dash to the school. I go to the school. So with je, it will be V-A-I-S. For example, Rita goes to the cinema. Now Rita, replace it with a pronoun she. So it would be elle. With elle, the conjugation of the verb aller is va. Let's say, for example, my parents, mes parents, go to the restaurant. Replace my parents with a pronoun they. So it would be ILS because it's mixed gender, mother and father. So the conjugation of ILS with aller is wo. We will now learn about the colors, les couleurs in French. Colors are also like adjectives. So for example, this is a book, this is a green book. So green is a color which is telling you something more about the book. So colors, just like adjectives, agree with the noun in number and gender. So for example, if I have to say a black book, I will say un livre noir. Noir is black in French. Now if I have to say a black eraser, une gomme noir with an E. You've made the color feminine. So just like adjectives, we can make a color feminine by adding an E to it. For example, if I have to make this sentence plural, un will become they, livre with an S, and noir also with an S. Some black books. If I have to make this plural, it would be une will become they, gomme with an S, and noir again with an S. So we can make a color plural by adding an S. Let's take one more example. For example, a cahier green. So a green notebook. Une fleur, which is a flower, it's feminine. So vert will become vert with an E. If we have to make this plural, un will become they, cahier with an S, vert with a S. If I have to make this plural, une will become they, fleur with an S, vert with a S. Now there are certain colors which end with an E in their masculine singular form. So if you remember, we had done this rule in the adjectives that if an adjective ends with an E in its masculine singular form, it remains the same in its feminine singular form. So for example, instead of vert, if it was rouge, which means red. Now it is ending with an E in its masculine singular form. So this will remain the same. The masculine plural will become rouge with an S. Feminine will also be rouge with an S. Another example, jaune, which means yellow. It ends with an E in its masculine singular form. It remains the same in its feminine singular form, and in the plural we will add an S. Let's take some more examples. A stilo, gris. A grey pen. Okay, let's make it feminine. Let's say, for example, a grey house. Une maison, gris with an E. So, une maison, grise, a grey house. Now, let's make this plural. If you notice, the masculine singular form is ending with an S. So, if you remember the rule that we did with adjectives, that if the masculine singular form of an adjective ends with an S, it remains the same in its plural form. So, in this case, gris will remain the same. We will not add another S to this. So, the concept of S, X and Z remaining the same in its plural form applies in case of colors as well. Now, in this case, une will change to they, maison with an S, grise with an S, because this is not ending with an S in its singular form. So, this is about colors. There are a few exceptions to this. So, for example, blanc, which means white, changes to blanche in its feminine singular form. So, this plural white, the masculine singular, will become blanc with an S. This will become blanche with an S. For example, violet. The feminine of this becomes double T, E. So, the single T will double the last consonant and add an E. As always, there are two exceptions in colors as well. So, the two exceptions are orange and marron. Please understand this well, because they always ask either of these in the exam. For example, I want to say a livre orange, an orange book. Let's take une maison orange, an orange house. Now, this is ending with an E in its masculine singular, remains the same in the feminine singular. Now, let's make this plural. Des livres orange. We will not add an S in the plural form. Similarly, when we make this plural, feminine plural, une will become des maison with an S, orange will remain as it is. In this case, we will not add an S. It means orange is invariable in all its forms. Same logic applies with marron. So, if it was a marron, a livre marron, this would be M-A-R-R-O-N. Une maison marron. If I have to make it plural, des livres marron and des maisons marron. So, we are not adding another E here, or we are not adding any S here. So, that means orange and marron remain invariable in all its forms. You will not make it feminine, you will not make it plural by adding an S. It remains the same in all its forms. It's extremely important to memorize this rule. They will give you this question in the exam. If we look at this page in the textbook, in lesson 6, all they've done is describe these different things. So, there are two ways of describing a thing. You can either say this is a yellow box, or we can say this box is yellow. These are some blue caps, or the caps are blue. These are some green grapes, or the grapes are green. These are some white chalks, or the chalks are white. Either of the way you can describe the color of the object. Now, let's look at the seasons. Les saisons. This is extremely important. You have to memorize the description of each season which has been given. It will be asked to you in your culture and civilization part. And as we go forward in class 6, 7, 8, the description of the seasons will keep increasing. And at times you will be asked to describe your favorite season. So it is important that you remember how to describe each of these seasons. So there are 4 seasons that they have described: l'automne, le printemps, l'hiver, l'été. L'automne is your autumn, le printemps is your spring, l'hiver is winter, l'été is summer. Now please remember this. All seasons in French are masculine. All of these seasons are masculine. Days of the week are masculine and months of the year are masculine. The days and months of the year we will learn it in the next chapter. Now let's look at the description of the seasons. L'automne, which is the autumn. En automne, les feuilles tombent. Il fait du vent. It means in autumn the leaves fall. It is very windy. Le printemps. Au printemps, il y a beaucoup de fleurs. Il fait beau. In spring, there are a lot of flowers. It is beautiful. L'hiver. In winter, it snows. It is cold and the ground is white. L'été. En été, nous allons à la plage. Il fait chaud. Le soleil brille. In summer, we go to the beach. It is warm. The sun shines. You would have noticed that in the description of the season, when they are describing the weather, the sentence always starts with il fait. Il fait beau, il fait jour, il fait nuit, il fait du vent, etc. For example, il fait jour. It is day, it is beautiful, it is windy. This is an expression which is used to describe weather. Fait is the conjugation of the verb faire, which means to do or to make. Faire is an irregular verb. The conjugation we will learn in Enchanté Book number 2. For now, all you have to remember is that for weather, the description of the weather will always be il faut. You will not write il est beau or il est jour. You will always write il fait. Weather is always described in French with this expression, il fait. So, il est, it is day, literally translates into this. This is wrong. This is the way you describe it. So, whether it is day, night, windy, beautiful, you will always describe it with il fait. Let us do a few examples to ensure that we've understood the concept of colors properly. So, for example, if the exercise was mettez au pluriel, okay, and let's say the example is c'est un livre rouge. This is a red book. So, c'est becomes ce sont. This c'est is essentially this. CE plus EST. But since there are 2 vowels together, this becomes C apostrophe. Say. So, say will become sa, son. We will write the E again because son is not starting with a vowel. This is the conjugation of the verb être, EST. In its plural form becomes son. Un will become they, livre with an S and rouge with an S. Another example. Set une fleur orange. This is an orange flower. Say will become ce sont. Une will become they. Fleur with an S. And orange will remain the same because it does not change in any of the forms. Thank you.